Today we've got plenty to talk about. There's plenty happening. It's been a good week. It's been a positive week in terms of movement, in terms of legacy. We've seen the release of the legacy inquest funding, something that we have been campaigning for many years alongside victims and families and the representative groups. And it's also been a big week for the Finucane family. And I've seen John coming in earlier, so I just want to say congratulations to the Finucane family for their steadfastness. You know, they have campaigned tirelessly, and to get this result this week, I think it is amazing. But now the British government need to live up to their commitment, and they need to deliver a full public inquiry. And we'll certainly hold their feet to the fire on that. So, what we're here today for is, because where else would you be on a Saturday morning? Only coming into the room to talk about Irish unity, because that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. It's about how do we shape the year ahead? How do we make sure that our politics are right? How do we make sure that we're campaigning and that we're out on the ground and talking to people? So it's very much about charting our way forward. It's very clear to all of us that the whole national political landscape has changed and is changing, and that's something to be welcomed. It's something to be embraced. It also poses challenges, but it also poses opportunities. So therefore, how we position ourselves as a party, how we position ourselves in terms of those interests who we represent, requires careful, intelligent deliberation and consideration. The party at a local, at a national and international level is in the centre of all the public and political discourse, and we're providing that strong Republican representation, analysis, leadership, whether it be here in Belfast, in London, in Dublin or in Brussels. And we continue to enjoy huge support from Irish America, from our friends in Sinn Féin in Canada, and we very much value and appreciate all of that support. But as I said, today is about thinking our way forward. Today is about talking out how we as activists collectively keep the party on the front line, on the front foot, and at the forefront of political change that's happening all around us. So that includes getting us ready for the council election on the 2nd of May, and perhaps a few other elections which may occur. It also is about Brexit and the huge challenges that are hurtling towards us over the course of the next number of weeks. It's about how do we continue to drive forward the momentum that's now there for Irish unity. And it's about building the party. It's about building a truly national movement that's going to right across Ireland in order to give us the opportunity to affect political change and constitutional change right across this island. So the local government elections on the 2nd of May will, here in the north, and also local government elections in the south at the end of May on the 24th. So that presents a real opportunity for us, a massive opportunity for us to set out our stall, to set out our vision for the future in terms of reunification, because that's what it's about. Every election from here on in is fought on that basis. So it's about us going out and winning that grassroots support. It's about getting support for strong, passionate, able, capable Republican candidates who are going to be the community voice, whether that be in City Hall here in Belfast or in councils the length and breadth of the country. And it's about candidates who want to bring about meaningful change. It's about candidates who want to bring about progressive change, and it's about candidates who want to make a difference to the communities in which they serve. And people can see the difference, people can see the change, people can feel it, and they can see it day and daily in terms of the delivery of all of our councillors. Whether that's new leisure facilities, whether it's in terms of inclusive growth projects, city deals in Belfast and Derry, whether it's around signage policies in councils, the developments that we've seen in councils right across the board. If people can see the practical difference that Sinn Féin elected representatives bring to the communities which they serve. All of our mayors and our chairs have been so active in providing that strong representation for everyone, and all of that demonstrates our ability to make change, to make an impact through local delivery. So we're always thinking nationally and we're always delivering locally. As a party, we have for over 30 years struggled hard to challenge discrimination, to defend those whom we proudly represent, and we stand strong for equality and delivery, and that's going to continue. One of the positive things this week has been the issue of the Lord Chief Justice funding, and that belated move by the British Government to finally fund the legacy inquest is something which we welcome. But what we now must see is the full implementation of all of the legacy mechanisms that were agreed, so that families can have access to proper investigations, to truth and to justice. We need to see the British Government to end their procrastination, and we need to see these delivered immediately. No family should have to wait any longer for truth and justice about the death of their loved one. No injured person should be deprived of a pension that will allow them to be cared for with dignity in their lives. And no one suffering from mental trauma should be trying to cope without adequate support services being in place. Just going to say a few words about the B word, Brexit. And I think that we know the realities. We know the current realities facing us in terms of Brexit. It's catastrophic, it's reckless, and it's being foisted upon us against our wishes. We were never a feature whenever the Tories conceived Brexit. They never took into account us, Ireland, and our peace process. At best, we were an afterthought in the minds of the Conservative Party and the British establishment. No thought was given to our peace process, to the Good Friday Agreement, or to the social and cultural fabric of our island, our economy, or the fact that we have an invisible border. That's why the people here voted against Brexit. And Brexit belongs to the Tory party and to the people of Britain. And if they wish to leave, we wish them the very, very best. But the Good Friday Agreement is ours, and we'll protect the Good Friday Agreement. We have worked with the other parties, the progressive parties in terms of Brexit, the SDLP and the Alliance and the Greens. And we represent the majority of people here, not the DUP. The DUP do not speak for us in this Brexit mess. We have been very successful in making our case and made it well for special status. We undertook a diplomatic offensive right across Europe, and all credit to Martina and the team for all the work that was done there. We lobbied extensively. It's actually ironic that the Good Friday Agreement is much better, and our peace process is much better understood in Europe than it is by this British government. And that's down to the testimony and the good work of Martina and her team going out and basically waxing lyrical about the Good Friday Agreement. So as we speak here today, Brexit's only a number of weeks away. I think it's 3 weeks away. The withdrawal agreement that was negotiated by the British government and the EU is actually, it's the least worst option. It's far from perfect. We've never said it's perfect. It doesn't deal with all the issues. However, this British government spent a number of weeks coming here, speaking to business community, speaking to individuals, talking to people, convincing them of the withdrawal agreement, and then went and Theresa May went and whipped her own party to vote against her deal, which she negotiated. Enormous bad faith, huge bad faith, which people now have been exposed to on behalf of this government. So that chaos is going to continue in London. There's a lot of uncertainty, but there is certainty here. There's certainty here that we need to protect our Good Friday Agreement. There's certainty here in terms of the negative implications of Brexit. So the challenge to us here in Ireland, in any case, is to begin the conversation about our own strategic interests post-Brexit in terms of our rapidly changing political landscape, our economy and the constitutional future of this island. Back on the 29th of April in 2017, the European Union made a declaration regarding Ireland as part of the Brexit Article 50 negotiations. The Council agreed that on the North of Ireland's membership of the EU in the event of reunification with the rest of Ireland. So in the event of a successful unity referendum, the North automatically goes back into the EU. We want to avoid a no deal. We don't think that's a good outcome for citizens here. However, should we arrive at that place, we have told Theresa May that it's incumbent on her to put the question to the people. Let the people decide the constitutional future of this island. It's in the Good Friday Agreement, an agreement that was endorsed by people the length and breadth of this country. A key provision in that in the Good Friday Agreement is obviously the referendum on Irish unity. And far from being dismissed or hushed away, the Irish government would need to catch up. The Irish government would need to catch up and start planning now for Irish unity. They need to put the preparations in place, and part of that preparation should be the urgent convening of an All-Ireland Forum to consult on our constitutional future. I believe as we stand here today and as we talk today that we are probably in the most defining period of our history since the Good Friday Agreement 21 years ago. And whilst others are huffing and puffing, we're actually here building, we're planning, we're talking about it. We're about changing the political, constitutional conditions and bringing about fundamental societal change right across this country. We're about transforming Ireland. This is our raison d'etre as a political movement, and I think it's time Sometimes whenever you reflect on the pace of change, sometimes things can move very, very slow, but sometimes things can happen very, very quickly. And I think, case in point, is the fall of the Berlin Wall on the night of the 9th of November 1989. It symbolised the end of the Cold War and set in chain a number of events that would forever change the face of Europe. And as a direct consequence, Germany was unified within 1 year. That's how quickly things can move. So there's no room for complacency. We have to build our party into a mass movement, build alliances with other progressives in the trade union movement, civic society and with other parties. We have to be a credible political party which is fit for purpose, who can organise, who can deliver change to the people of Ireland, and we have to be appealing to the people of Ireland who want to give us their support. We're about asserting people's rights. We're up front in organising, asserting and advancing a rights-based agenda. This is really an historic time. It's a time of opportunity, it's a time of courage, it's a time for ambition, it's a time to up our game, and we're on a journey, but we're all on this journey together, and it's going to take all of us. So comrades, this is a time for Irish unity. Let's make it work.